Breath of the Wild is a great game and you totally should buy it. Well, now that's out of the way, let's talk about what you can do in this game. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 awesome things you can do in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this video, we will be trying to keep it as spoiler-free as possible.
The beast. When the beast regains its true power, this world will face its end.
Number 10, throw a rusty weapon at a rock Octorok to fix it. Throughout your journey through Hyrule, you may come across old and battered rusty weapons that don't deal a lot of damage and have far less durability than your average weapon. For that reason, most players would tend to ignore them. Find a rock Octorok in the Death Mountain region and throw these battered weapons at the enemies while they're inhaling their surroundings, and they'll end up using their digestive system to polish these weapons into something stronger. Careful though, cause they're still enemies and they will shoot that weapon back at you at high speeds. Number 9, gather arrows with a wooden shield. Let's face it, arrows are useful, but you can burn through them pretty quick. However, there's actually a nifty trick to collecting arrows more quickly. The trick in question is quite simple and clever. You just kind of let them come to you, as long as Link has a wooden shield equipped. Incoming enemy arrows will lodge themselves into the shield for Link to keep for himself. That is assuming that enemies learn how to aim, that is. Look at this guy, what a doofus. Once the arrows are lodged in your shield, simply put it away or switch to your bow, and then they're collected into your inventory. Just remember, this only works with a wooden shield. Arrows will bounce off of metal and guardian shields. Number 8, make a catapult. If you're a creative player who likes to play around with physics, then you're sure to have tons of fun in Breath of the Wild. If you feel so inclined, try to make a seesaw. You'll need a metal plank, a treasure chest, and a large metal boulder. Place Link upon the lower end of the plank, and then, using your magnet, drop the boulder on the other end. Airborne Link. Just make sure to remember to deploy your paraglider, or else Link might be in for an unhappy ending. Hey, science rules. Number 7, cook during the blood moon to get better quality meals. The blood moon event that randomly triggers every few nights may be dreaded by lots of players, but it does have its benefits. As any Breath of the Wild player should know, cooking is a fundamental aspect to surviving out in the wild, but cooking on the eve of the blood moon is what players should try to strive for.
It rises to its peak under the hour of the blood moon.
On the blood moon nights between 11:30 p.m. and midnight, if you start cooking during this time, any meal you cook will automatically get a stat boost, depending on what meal you cook. This usually means extra hearts, longer buff times, or even increased stamina. Experiment during these nights and you never know what you might find. Number 6, use burning grass to create updrafts. Paragliding is an awesome part of the game. As soaring over the vast mountainous landscape is fun, you have a bird's eye view of every scene, and it makes traveling a breeze. Link's paraglider doesn't stay airborne forever, so if you find yourself stuck on the ground, you can light up some grass using bomb arrows to get yourself high again. The burning grass creates an updraft that gives Link enough lift to take to the skies once again. This technique can be especially useful in fights where enemies use fire attacks, especially against Lynels, as you can use the updraft to gain leverage and activate Link's bullet time bow attack in order to turn the battle in your favor. Number 5, throw a Cucco at an enemy and make them swarm the bad guys. As most Legend of Zelda fans should know, you should not, under any circumstances, attack the chickens, or else you will feel the ferocity of these little clucking badasses. In Breath of the Wild, Link can use this time-honored Easter egg to his advantage by throwing a cranky chicken at his attackers, resulting in a war squadron of deadly Cuccos raining down upon his enemies like hellfire. The enemies will find a new definition of pain and suffering after they are mercifully picked to death by a dozen Hylian chickens. Number 4, make a raft fly using Octorok balloons. Octorok balloons collected from dead Octoroks can be pretty handy. These inflatable organs can be attached to any object, like a raft for instance, and make it fly like a magic carpet. With that said, getting a raft to fly involves a lot of trial and error, as you kinda gotta balance the balloon's placement to avoid it tipping over, and the balloons will pop after a few seconds, so you gotta replace them. Our advice would be to use stasis to give yourself plenty of time to place the balloons before the craft gets lopsided. Still, watching the whole thing fail can be fun in and of itself. Number 3, equip element weapons to survive extreme heat or cold. Surviving in some of the harsher environments in Hyrule can be pretty tricky, as often you'll need to prepare meals for heat or cold resistance, which can only last a certain amount of time. Or you can purchase environmental resistant armor, which can be quite expensive too. However, harnessing the power of fire and ice can make traversal through these areas less fatal. If Link has a lit torch, he can use it to stay warm in cold areas, which can especially be handy at the beginning of the game. Or if you come across a flame weapon, simply equipping it will keep Link warm in snowy regions. The same can also apply to ice weapons when crossing the Gerudo Desert. Number 2, ride a rock with stasis. Ever feel like launching boulders in the air? Why not launch a boulder into the air and hitch a ride on it like Slim Pickens? Well, with the stasis rune, Link can freeze the flow of time for certain objects, allowing for the buildup of awesome kinetic energy. The effect will send some objects rocketing upward into the wild Hylian blue yonder. Just make sure you grab the rock in time, and there's no bumps that the rock can hit on launch. Otherwise, you might be in for a world of hurt. Number 1, tame and ride bears. Bears can be ferocious animals, but if you happen to be too far away from a stable in a pocket of the Hylian forest, a bear can be an option for four-legged travel. The best approach is to wear the sneaking suit, or a meal with a high stealth bonus, then sneak up on the bear and soothe it like you would a horse. Be advised that he will get restless frequently. Plus, you can't command him to attack, nor can you register him in a stable. But come on, you're riding a friggin' bear! How awesome is that? Take off Link's shirt and he can out-Russian Vladimir Putin. And who doesn't want to be that badass? Come on! Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.